Ladies and gentlemen, life is a battle. But it's not fought in the streets, in the office, or in the marketplace. No, the real battle is fought in the mind. Every day a silent war takes place between doubt and belief, between fear and courage, between discipline and complacency. The question is, who's winning in your mind? See, the real enemy isn't the economy, your circumstances, or your past. The real enemy is inside negative thoughts, self-doubt, and procrastination. If you allow them to take root, they will grow into a forest that blocks your vision. But if you choose to fight back, if you stand guard at the door of your mind, you can take control of your destiny. The real battle is in the mind. Every success, every failure, every breakthrough, and every setback begins in the mind long before it manifests in reality. The way you think, the thoughts you allow to dominate, and the beliefs you choose to hold on to determine the direction of your life. Most people assume that external circumstances, economy, competition, background, are the primary obstacles to success. But the truth is, the biggest challenge is the internal battle. It's not what happens around you, it's what happens inside you that makes the difference. The mind is a battlefield where two forces are constantly at war. On one side, there is faith, confidence, ambition, discipline, and determination. On the other side, there is doubt, fear, procrastination, laziness, and excuses. These opposing forces fight for control every day. The challenge is that whichever side you feed the most will ultimately win. If you constantly entertain negative thoughts, telling yourself that you're not good enough, that the competition is too strong, that you'll never succeed, then you will find evidence to support those beliefs. The mind will reinforce whatever you focus on. That's why some people remain stuck in mediocrity, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they have already lost the battle in their minds. If you observe successful people, you will notice that they have mastered this battle. They don't allow self-doubt to take over. They replace negative thoughts with empowering beliefs. When faced with failure, they don't dwell on what went wrong. They focus on the lessons and the next step forward. They don't let fear paralyze them. They push forward despite fear. This is the difference between those who win and those who don't. It's not about luck or intelligence. It's about controlling the mind and directing it toward growth, resilience, and action. The human mind is incredibly powerful, but it can also be incredibly destructive if left unchecked. It has the ability to magnify problems, create unnecessary worries, and make small obstacles seem like impossible barriers. If you allow negative thoughts to run freely, they will cripple your confidence and steal your potential. But just as the mind can be trained to work against you, it can also be trained to work for you. It all comes down to awareness and discipline. You must learn to challenge your thoughts. Not every thought that enters your mind is true, and not every fear is real. Just because your mind tells you something is impossible doesn't mean it actually is. Just because your mind tries to convince you that you're not capable doesn't mean it's a fact. The moment you recognize that you are in control of your thoughts, not the other way around, you gain the power to rewrite your own story. You can choose to focus on possibility instead of limitation. You can choose to replace doubt with belief, fear with action, and hesitation with confidence. And when you consistently win this battle in your mind, success is no longer a matter of chance. It becomes inevitable. Your mind is like a garden, and whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of success, confidence, and discipline, you will harvest a life filled with achievement and fulfillment. But if you allow negativity, doubt, and fear to take root, they will spread like weeds, choking out your potential. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts, and that's why it's essential to feed your mind the right thoughts every single day. Everything you expose your mind to shapes your beliefs and influences your action. The books you read, the conversations you have, the videos you watch, and the people you surround yourself with all play a role in shaping your mental landscape. If you consume negativity, constant complaints, fear-based news, gossip, and limiting beliefs, you will start to think the same way. You will begin to believe that success is only for the lucky, that discipline is too hard, and that your dreams are out of reach. On the other hand, if you fill your mind with inspiration, wisdom, and knowledge, you will start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will believe in your ability to grow, to overcome, and to succeed. One of the greatest powers of the human mind is that it becomes what it consistently focuses on. If you constantly dwell on problems, your mind will find more problems. If you constantly think about solutions, your mind will start seeking answers. The direction of your thoughts determines the direction of your life. That's why feeding your mind the right thoughts is not just an option, it's a necessity. If you want confidence, you must fill your mind with thoughts of courage and self-belief. If you want success, you must train your mind to think in terms of possibilities rather than limitations. If you want discipline, you must remind yourself daily that consistency and effort lead to reward. Many people don't realize that their thoughts are not random. They are a product of what they consume and repeat. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," you will believe it. But if you train yourself to say, "I am capable and I can figure things out," that belief will start to take root. The key is to be intentional. Choose your thoughts the way a gardener chooses seeds, carefully, deliberately, and with a vision of what you want to grow. Protect your mind like you would protect your home. You wouldn't let a stranger walk into your house and leave a mess. So why allow negative influences to invade your mind? Be mindful of who and what you allow into your mental space. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Read books that challenge and inspire you. Listen to voices that push you toward growth. Your mind is your greatest asset, but only if you feed it well, because whatever you plant will grow, and in time, it will define the person you become. Every day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you are making choices. Some seem small and insignificant: what time to get up, what to eat, how to spend your time. Others feel larger: what career to pursue, whom to associate with, what goals to chase. But the truth is, every choice, no matter how small, is shaping your life in ways you may not even realize. The power of choice is the most valuable gift you have, and how you use it will determine the quality of your future. Many people go through life believing that their circumstances control them. They blame their past, their upbringing, the economy, or other people for where they are. But the reality is, no matter where you start, no matter what challenges you face, you always have a choice. You may not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Two people can experience the same difficulty. One gives up, while the other uses it as motivation to grow. The difference is not in the situation, but in the choices they make. The choices you make today are either moving you closer to your goals or further away from them. There is no standing still. Every time you choose discipline over laziness, action over hesitation, learning over ignorance, you are shaping a future that is stronger and more rewarding. Likewise, every time you choose comfort over growth, excuses over responsibility, distractions over focus, you are setting yourself back. Success is not an event, it is a series of right choices made consistently over time. Failure is not a single moment of loss, it is the result of poor choices compounded over weeks, months, and years. One of the most powerful things about choice is that it gives you control over your destiny. You are never truly stuck unless you choose to be. No matter how far you have gone down the wrong path, you can always choose to turn around. No matter how many mistakes you have made, you can always choose to learn and improve. No matter how big your dreams are, you can choose to start taking small steps toward them today. The greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and high achievers in the world did not get there by luck. They got there because they made different choices than most people. They chose to take risks when others played it safe. They chose to work on themselves when others wasted time. They chose to push through failure when others quit. Your life will not be defined by chance, but by choice. You can choose to let fear stop you, or you can choose to take action despite fear. You can choose to complain about your circumstances, or you can choose to do something about them. You can choose to settle for mediocrity, or you can choose to demand more from yourself. In the end, your success, your happiness, and your growth will all come down to the choices you make day after day. Emotions are powerful. They can lift you to great heights or drag you into deep struggles. They influence your decisions, your relationships, and your ability to take action. The difference between those who succeed and those who fall short is not the absence of emotions, but the ability to control them. Mastering your emotions is one of the most valuable skills you can develop because it determines how you respond to challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions. When they feel motivated, they take action. When they feel discouraged, they stop. When they feel confident, they move forward. When they feel afraid, they retreat. This pattern creates an inconsistent and unpredictable life, where progress is dependent on feelings rather than discipline. But true success comes from learning how to act regardless of emotions, not just when they are favorable. The ability to push forward when you don't feel like it, to remain calm under pressure, and to stay committed even when motivation fades is what separates those who achieve from those who struggle. Emotions are not the enemy. Fear, doubt, anger, frustration, these feelings are natural. The problem is not having them. The problem is letting them control your actions. Fear can either paralyze you or push you to prepare. Anger can either consume you or drive you to improve. Frustration can either lead to giving up or to greater determination. It all depends on how you manage these emotions and what meaning you attach to them. If you can train yourself to see emotions as signals rather than obstacles, you will gain an incredible advantage in life. The key to mastering emotions is awareness and control. You must first recognize when an emotion is influencing your decision-making. If you are angry, ask yourself if reacting in anger will serve you or hurt you. If you are afraid, ask yourself if the fear is protecting you or holding you back. The moment you become aware of your emotions, you gain power over them. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can make a conscious decision on how to respond. Instead of letting emotions dictate your actions, you can use them to your advantage. Another way to gain control over emotions is to change your focus. Whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, your emotions will reflect stress and frustration. If you focus on solutions, your emotions will shift toward confidence and action. You can also change your emotions by changing your physiology. Stand tall, breathe deeply, move with energy, and you will feel stronger. Speak with certainty and your confidence will grow. The way you use your body has a direct impact on how you feel. And mastering this connection gives you greater control over your emotions. Your emotions should work for you, not against you. Learning to master them is not about suppressing feelings, but about channeling them in the right direction. When you develop this skill, you gain control over your actions, your progress, and ultimately, your destiny. Motivation is a great feeling. It's that spark of excitement, that surge of energy that makes you want to take action. But the problem with motivation is that it's unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind, showing up when things feel easy and disappearing when challenges arise. If you depend on motivation to get things done, you will find yourself constantly starting and stopping, making progress one day and falling behind the next. This is why discipline is far more important than motivation. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. It is what keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. Successful people don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. They don't wait until they feel like doing something. They do it regardless of how they feel. A champion athlete doesn't train only when they're excited. A successful entrepreneur doesn't work only when they feel inspired. A great leader doesn't show up only when they're in the mood. They have trained themselves to take action no matter what. They understand that discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's going to the gym when you feel tired. It's sticking to your schedule when distractions try to pull you away. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen your ability to stay committed. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. Over time, it turns into a habit, and that habit turns into a way of life. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who are always motivated. They are the ones who are disciplined enough to show up every single day, no matter what. Most people make the mistake of waiting for motivation. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel ready, or I'll take action when I get inspired. But waiting for motivation is like waiting for the perfect weather before going outside. If you only act when the conditions are perfect, you will never get anywhere. The secret is to act first, and motivation will follow. Action creates momentum, and momentum fuels motivation. The more you do, the more you feel like doing. But it all starts with discipline, the decision to take action whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is what separates those who succeed from those who struggle. It's easy to be motivated for a day, a week, or even a month, but can you stay consistent for a year, 5 years, 10 years? That's what real success requires. The ones who achieve their dreams are not the ones who feel motivated every day. They are the ones who are disciplined enough to keep going even when motivation is nowhere to be found. If you want to change your life, stop chasing motivation and start building discipline. Because motivation may get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. Your mind is your greatest asset, but it is also your greatest vulnerability. Every thought, every idea, and every belief you allow into your mind shapes the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, and ultimately the life you create. That's why guarding your mind is not just important, it's essential. Just as a fortress protects what is valuable inside, you must protect your mind from influences that weaken you, distract you, or pull you away from your potential. Every day you are bombarded with information, opinions, and distractions. Some of it empowers you, but much of it is designed to control you, limit you, or keep you stuck. Negativity, fear, doubt, and excuses creep in like intruders, slowly chipping away at your confidence and clarity. If you are not careful, you will begin to believe the wrong things. Things that tell you you're not good enough, that success is out of reach, that life is unfair, or that your past determines your future. But none of these things are true unless you accept them as truth. That is why you must be the gatekeeper of your mind, deciding what gets in and what stays out. Your environment plays a massive role in shaping your thoughts. The people you spend time with, the conversations you engage in, the content you consume, all of it influences your mindset. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, gossip, and low standards, your mind will absorb those patterns. But if you surround yourself with wisdom, growth, and excellence, your mind will rise to that level. You must be intentional about what you allow into your mind, because what enters repeatedly will take root. Just as a fortress has walls to keep out threats, you need mental boundaries to protect your focus and energy. This means being selective about the information you consume. If the news fills you with fear and anxiety, limit it. If social media distracts you from your goals, control it. If certain people drain your energy with negativity and complaints, distance yourself. You are not obligated to entertain every idea, engage in every debate, or absorb every message that comes your way. Protecting your mind is not about avoiding reality. It's about making sure the reality you build is one of strength, clarity, and purpose. The strongest minds are not those that are never challenged. They are the ones that know how to filter out what does not serve them. Train your mind like a warrior, sharpening it with powerful books, empowering conversations, and daily affirmations. Speak to yourself with conviction, reminding yourself of what is possible rather than what is limiting. Feed your mind with knowledge, discipline, and belief. Because if you don't take control of your mind, someone else will. A fortress is only as strong as its defenses. Guard your mind with the same intensity you would guard your most valuable treasure. Because in the end, your mind determines everything. Your confidence, your choices, your success, and the legacy you leave behind. Life is a battlefield, and the war is fought in the mind. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt is part of the war between where you are and where you want to be. The war is not against the world, the economy, or other people. It is against fear, self-doubt, laziness, and excuses. Those who win this war take control of their destiny. Those who lose it live in regret, wondering what could have been. If you want to win in life, you must first win the war within. The battles you face each day may seem small. Whether to wake up early or hit the snooze button, whether to work on your goals or waste time on distractions, whether to push through difficulty or quit when things get tough. But these small battles determine the outcome of the war. Discipline defeats laziness. Courage defeats fear. Persistence defeats failure. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you win a battle. Every time you take action despite doubt, you move one step closer to victory. And just like in any war, consistency in winning small battles leads to ultimate triumph. Many people lose the war because they surrender too soon. They let a single failure define them. They let temporary discomfort dictate their choices. They give up when things don't go as planned. But setbacks are part of the fight. The strongest warriors are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who refuse to stay down. Resilience is what separates those who win from those who quit. You must train your mind to see challenges as tests of strength rather than reasons to retreat. Your thoughts are your weapons in this war. If you fill your mind with doubt and negativity, you weaken your ability to fight. If you fill your mind with confidence, determination, and self-belief, you give yourself the power to overcome anything. Your mindset is your greatest advantage, but only if you train it. Surround yourself with people who push you forward. Consume content that strengthens you and speak to yourself in a way that builds you up. A weak mind surrenders easily, but a strong mind is unstoppable. Winning the war within requires patience and persistence. There will be days when you feel like giving up. There will be moments when the struggle seems too great. But if you keep moving forward, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching, even when the results are not immediate, you will eventually break through. Victory does not come to those who fight only when they feel like it. It comes to those who fight until the battle is won. The greatest victories in life are not handed out, they are earned. If you want success, happiness, and fulfillment, you must be willing to fight for them. The war is not easy, but it is winnable. And when you win the war within, you don't just win success, you win control over your life, your future, and your destiny. The war within is the greatest battle you will ever fight, but it is also the most rewarding. Every challenge, every setback, every test of your willpower is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts, greater than your fears, and more capable than you ever imagined. The road to victory is not easy, but it is worth it. You have everything you need to win. Discipline, resilience, and the power of choice. Decide today that you will no longer surrender to negativity, procrastination, or self-doubt. Decide today that you will stand up, fight for your dreams, and refuse to quit until you reach the finish line. Because when you win the war within, you don't just achieve success, you gain the ultimate prize, the ability to create the life you truly deserve. So rise up, take control, and step into your power. The battle is yours to win. And when you do, you won't just change your life, you'll inspire others to do the same.